Benoit Blanc, back again. Daniel Craig.
Murder.
Accent. Perfect.
Terrible of mine, but
Perfect. Welcome back to No Bad Seats, the Regent Cinemas podcast with myself, Luke, and of course, as always,
Sam from Bratface.
and we just saw another movie.
We did. We saw.
Do you reckon we'll ever have a day where we come in and we say, we're
saw
doing a
nothing.
podcast and there was nothing?
We
that
sat
saw?
and stared at a blank screen.
We'll
for 3
talk to you.
hours.
We'll talk to you about something.
We'll review how good the white was on the screen.
We will talk about movies, but I mean, I'm sure we could. We will, because we've talked about doing an episode where we just
True.
talk about our favourite movies of the year. We'll come
Very
in
true.
and we'll be like, and we saw nothing this week because we're here to talk about the whole year.
Yes,
But-
that is very true. That will happen.
But this week we did see Wake Up Dead Man and Knives Out Mystery.
We did. Very exciting.
Very exciting. I love the first two Knives
Oh.
Out. I saw Glass Onion here, actually in this room, on this screen. Loved it.
Yeah.
My wife was devastated that I was coming to see this one without her. I'm like, I will watch it with you when it comes out on Netflix, I promise. Let's watch the first two again.
Yeah.
But yeah, very excited to see this one.
Yeah, no. I remember seeing the first one. Obviously, a Knives Out. No, not a Knives Out. Just Knives Out.
It was just
at
Knives
that
Out.
stage. That was before it was Knives Out. Tale mystery. Mystery. I think they're called.
Mystery.
Yeah. And it was one of my favourite movies that year. Just blew me away. It felt like a real resurgence of good movies without a gigantic budget, which is something you and I have talked about a lot.
Yep.
That we love when someone is given the right amount of money to make a movie and they just make a great movie.
Yeah.
It's not a $400 million movie.
I'd like to see a $400 movie though.
I'd love to see a $400 movie.
Let's make a $400 movie. Do you reckon we could do it?
We could do it.
We could do it.
But yeah, it's not a super expensive movie, and you wouldn't know because it's just a
Yeah.
well-done movie.
Yeah.
For all three of them. All three
Yeah.
of them have felt like that. They've all been
Always
really good.
great casts, and you've got a centre point in Daniel Craig who is super engaging. But we'll get more into that. We're going to talk a couple of things, movie news, and we're going to talk about a trailer at the end of this. But first off, I want to kick it off with a bit of movie news that excited me and disturbed me at the same time. Now,
Okay.
earlier in this week, a meme was sent to me by my little brother. I take that back. It wasn't a meme. It was just straight up a scene from a movie we grew up watching. We were laughing about it, and I said, man, I hope the sequel to this eventually happens because they've been talking about it for years, and it's just never been greenlit.
Okay.
The stars have discussed it time and time again. It's always been in the works. And the last one came out in 2007. Fast forward to today, or yesterday rather, when I wake up to a bit of news that this film is getting developed. It's officially been greenlit.
Yep.
Rush Hour 4 is being developed.
I saw.
Now, the reasoning this is being developed is because Donald Trump insists that it's being developed. What the hell? I was like, his intervening is getting so weird, but to like step in and like of all things, he's just like, you need to make Rush Hour 4.
Like, oh, okay, we'll take this one.
I mean, you could literally turn around and you got a Chinese star and
Yeah. How's this
Trump
gonna work?
endorses communist China. Like,
Yeah.
I don't...
Are they going to
it's-
have to pay tariffs on Jackie Chan?
on Jackie. Jackie's probably a US citizen by
I'd
this
say
point,
so,
but,
yeah.
but honestly, it's wild to me. And it all comes down to, we were discussing last week. So what happened is Paramount and Warner Brothers, as part of not as part of this merger, but Trump has heavily pushed David Ellison, whose father is a Trump supporter, Larry Ellison, and a Trump campaign donor, heavy-duty campaign donor and friend of Donald Trump. So in the Ellisons acquiring Paramount has sort of stepped in because Brett Ratner, director of the first three films,
Yep.
and Hollywood Pariah, is still wanting to be involved, and that has been the hold-up. Apparently, Chris Tucker, Jackie Chan on board. They want to do a fourth one. Brett Ratner wrote and directed the first three. everyone in town is like, we don't want to work with Brett Ratner, and have rejected the script because New Line Cinema said, we don't want to make it, but we're allowing you to go and option it elsewhere. Everywhere
Was
said
there
the same
reasons
thing.
for people not wanting to work with him? They just didn't like him, or I can't remember if there was anything that sort of
Pretty
came out.
sure there was some like cancellation stuff that
Yeah,
came
I
out.
thought
That was
so.
pretty heavy.
Yeah.
But assault
who else
charge,
to
that sort
discard
of-
that than Donald Trump?
Yeah, so classic write-off.
Yeah, we'll just write that one off.
Yep.
Don't worry about it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, so essentially it's
Probably on the
but,
same list.
But the reason is that Brett Ratner's latest film is a documentary about Melania Trump.
Oh, right.
So there's
okay.
where you tie all the pieces together. Brett
Just the
Ratner
nice big-
makes documentary, goes, they won't let me make my Rush Hour 4 film, which, again, I love those films. I
Yeah.
love them so much. I have been saying for years, just make Rush. All I want to see is Rush Hour 4. However, Brett Ratner makes Melania Trump film. Trump goes, yep, no worries, I'll make this happen. Steps in as president to be like, make this film to Paramount. Paramount makes a deal with Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers goes, yeah, no worries. And they're like co-producing it now because Trump insisted it. It's so weird.
It's just this big incestual bubble
it's-
of like, hey, we did a little thing for Trump, and he's going to do something for us.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
I do slightly worry about it.
oh yeah.
Obviously, comedians, a lot of the time,
Comedians.
won't be held back.
The
and when-
Apprentice, which came out like last year,
Well, yes.
would never get made
Yeah.
if Trump was controlling Hollywood. And
Yes,
that movie
exactly.
ruled. It bombed because nobody wants to see a movie about Donald Trump. Except for the
subject.
people, the Donald Trump people want to see a movie about Donald Trump, but
They were too mad about it.
but not one that like takes the piss out of him.
Yeah.
And then the people who want to see a film about Donald Trump getting the piss taken out of him don't really want to watch anything about Donald Trump, which, okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
exactly. But yeah, it does worry me slightly just because of Trump's current track record with censorship and comedians.
Yep.
And that sort of getting
And
all
anybody
muddled
saying,
up into...
comedians, media, anyone saying anything negative about him, like,
Yeah.
come on. But that's not what we're here to talk about on this podcast.
No, we're not.
Movie-related wise,
We're getting the movie we want.
Rush Hour 4 is coming because of Donald Trump. And I remember, when I saw this, immediately I texted my friends this story. In our group chat, I texted him saying, earlier this week, like literally a day ago, I was texting my brother about this saying, man, I hope they make this movie. I would love to see this movie. Man, I just want Rush Hour 4. And then I sent the scene from The Matrix of Switch, realizing that she's going to die and going, not like this. Not like this, before dying. And that was the gift that I sent through. Like, it was like, I couldn't believe I manifested it into the world, but it's like
It's your fault.
it's like the monkey claw thing where it's like, yeah, you'll get your wish, but something will be wrong with it. And this is what has happened. So here we are.
You just we won't go into it.
Yeah.
There's a hilarious meme that involves that, and
Yeah.
I just
That's exactly it.
Yeah,
And here we are. Rush Hour 4 is now in development.
well, yes, here we are. Speaking of the Paramount Warner Brothers thing, I was actually listening to a different podcast recently about the whole Warner Brothers being up for sale and stuff, and they brought up an interesting point about how Warner Brothers marketing has been very down this year, and towards the end of this year, very much so.
I mean, you say that, but yeah, towards the end of this year, they put all of their marketing into about 3 weeks of Superman, and it was the only thing that you saw.
Yes.
And then outside of that, they've done nothing.
Yes. Point being is because anything I think from sort of second half of that year type of thing, anything they do put on the marketing budget shows up in next year's financials, not this year's. So on paper,
Yep.
the business will look less profitable to anyone buying.
And
it.
you can wear July 10th.
Yes.
July 10th.
Yeah. So that's why a lot of the Warner Brothers movies haven't had that big push that they felt like they've had in the past.
And you had Sinners, Minecraft, and Superman get a bunch.
And they're just
it was
like, let's make it
look
look
at these
really
big wins, look
profitable."
at these big wins, look at
Yeah.
these big wins, look how well we've done. And then, one battle after another. Tanks.
Yeah.
Despite being one of the best films of the year.
Probably do great at the Oscars. but-
Yeah, but the marketing behind it wasn't
no.
huge. There wasn't a big push. And yeah, the narrative is Warner Brothers has this massive slew of hits this year, and they're the big winners of the year. But you're right, it's like yeah, okay, if you consider the first half of the year.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what have you done for me lately, Warner Brothers?
Very true.
So that is very interesting.
Hmm.
Going into our next bit of news, Wicked sequels, prequels announced. So there was news earlier in the week. Wicked, another property from Wicked, was being developed. We discussed, do they do Wizard of Oz finally on the podcast last week? It's a Galinda prequel.
Yep.
Or there is a Galinda prequel in the works
They've
now.
actually said
So-
what the project is.
Yeah, or at least I saw something about that. Maybe I should go and confirm because I did see a couple of posts about it, but I didn't deep dive too heavily. But it makes sense to announce it. Ariana Grande's huge. She'll probably do. It'll be like
So is
it'll
she
be like
attached
in.
or?
Well, I would have to assume that it'll be like in Wonder Woman, where
Yeah.
she does the, and this is my story.
Yeah.
And then you see the backstory, and then it cuts to the end, and she's like, "And that's how I became me."
It
Like
feels
intro,
a little
outro
bit
type
weird
thing.
to me if they were to try and continue on the Wicked universe without
Yeah,
Ariana
100%.
and Cynthia, because they've been such a big driving force in
Yeah.
it. Like, out of anyone in the cast, like they are just the
Well, they're the-
figureheads that
yeah.
everyone's gravitated towards, whether it's good or bad.
That actually makes me reminds me. Jonathan Bailey is currently the highest-grossing film star for the year because of Jurassic World and Wicked.
Yeah,
Which is wild because I'd be like, Jonathan, who?
I know. Dude is great though.
He is great.
my-
Don't get me wrong, but like it wasn't until I saw that and I was like, what the hell else was he in? And then it was like, oh yeah, he was in Jurassic World, of course. But didn't find him super memorable in that. And
The whole movie wasn't super memorable,
So-
unfortunately.
Yeah, so
even-
it's as soon as they said Jurassic World, I was like, oh, he was in that. That's right. But
the Jurassic movies always do numbers. I think we spoke about that
Yeah.
back when it was coming out. Like they always do good numbers regardless. I think people just are like, yeah, dinosaurs, let's go see it.
yeah,
But they've had a sort of slow, steady decline in terms of quality for a decent amount of time.
yeah, I don't know that I agree with that regarding Rebirth, but I definitely, and they are developing a sequel to that now with with that core group of characters, which is great. I just don't think I recognise Jonathan Bailey well enough from Wicked to recognise him and put the pieces together for the two films. But then by the time I was reading an article saying that he's the biggest success of the year, I was like, oh,
yeah.
yeah, I suppose he has been in two massive franchises and probably the two biggest franchises for the year. Like, what else? I mean, Minecraft and Lilo and Stitch are the only competitors to Jurassic World, and then Wicked is going to be,
I mean, Jack Black's on a decent run.
yeah.
He's got that, and then he's got Anaconda coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect Anaconda to do gigantic numbers.
It's not going to do Wicked and Jurassic numbers, though.
No, but Minecraft carrying that up a fair bit.
Yeah, but Minecraft didn't even make $1 billion.
Didn't it?
No, 960 million or something.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
it got close.
Pretty close, yeah.
And then they tried to edge it over the line with the block party, like, everybody throw your popcorn. But, like, when you're allowed to throw your popcorn, nobody wants to do it. So, yeah, it didn't quite get there at the end, but it is interesting nonetheless. So that's another one. Yeah, Wicked projects in the works. I believe there's multiple projects.
Which is
Because
cool.
Why would you, if you were a marketing person for Universal right now, you're like, what's our biggest property? We've got Wicked. Oh man, we're about to end it. What do we do?
Yeah, exactly.
Many more.
We could definitely. There's so much room to sort of
Yeah.
expand upon it. It was funny. After we sort of spoke about them potentially redoing The Wizard of Oz, I saw a couple of clips online with Wicked, and then one of them was the Tin Man and how like scary he is in Wicked versus in Wizard of Oz, where he's just like beating his chest and jumping around and things like that. But I was like, holy crap, that the Wizard of Oz still holds up so well.
Okay.
It wasn't. The comparisons, like the differences are definitely there. Just the change in cinematography, the change in
of
everything.
course.
But I was like, wow, the Wizard of Oz really holds up.
Well, there's a reason it's nearly 100 years old. And still people are.
There's even one of the clips of the Wicked Witch throwing like a fireball, and you can see that it's done in the old way they did things with like.
She got second and third degree burns from many of those things. She's covered in rubbing alcohol. As
Horrendous
her
production
Terrible
in general. But yeah, I was watching it, I was like, this still looks great. Like, yes, I can tell that this is done the old school way. And
But
things
again,
like that, but like,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you and I both spoke about that of like, I think they should redo The Wizard of Oz just to get rid of that, like, not get rid of it, but to like go, hey, we make movies without hurting all of our cast and crew now.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, wow. We're not treating them like objects that we can just burn. And
Burn and throw away. There you go.
Yeah.
Now, let's get into the good stuff, because there is a trailer that came out this week. How to Make a Killing, Glen Powell's new one. Did you see the trailer for it? I sent it to you.
I did, yes.
Looks phenomenal.
I'm like I said before, I'm down for anything with Glen Powell at the moment.
I still can't believe The Running Man has done as poorly as it has worldwide. Like, people just aren't here for it. Edgar Wright and Glen Powell, don't be disheartened. Keep making that good stuff, because I loved it.
I feel like Edgar Wright's appeal has sort of faded a little bit in the last. Like, even I think we spoke before about Last Night in Soho, which is great, but it's not.
I saw somebody say, these are the best two films I've ever seen, and it was Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead. And these are the worst two films I've ever seen, and it was The Running Man and Late Night in Soho. And I did not agree with that whatsoever.
I don't agree with that at all.
But
they're not bad movies by any means.
Yeah, and it was like, come on, guy.
But it feels
different.
Feels opposite ends of the spectrum for Edgar Wright.
Well,
even though I
regardless-
still loved Running Man, I thought it was a great, fun.
Oh, absolutely. I loved Running Man, and yeah, it's a shame to see it do so poorly, but Running Man is about a man being hunted, and this is in fact a man hunting. It is about
looks great.
Yeah, it's great. It's about a guy who is in the line to inherit $28 billion, whose mother was disowned by the family, and he realizes, or
like 7 other.
it's suggested to him that if he was to murder all of the other, or prune some branches on the family tree, was the line, that.
Because I believe they're like cousins or something, or somewhere they fall off, and
cousins of
he
him.
sits below all of them.
Look like it's got a good cast too. Like Ed Harris is there, Topher Grace.
I was
going
to say, did I see Topher Grace? Yeah.
Looks super fun, and that
Margaret
comes out in
Qualley as
February.
well.
So yeah, Margaret Qualley. Although they did use "I'm Sure You'll Make a Killing" twice in the trailer, which made me go, "Come on, guys! Yeah, we get it. She's aware."
This better be the only 2 times we see it in the movie.
If it happens anymore, I will be disappointed. But regardless, the trailer looks great, and it looks super fun. I'm keen to watch it.
It looks really good.
Now, Wake Up, Dead Man.
Yes.
Let's talk.
Not
I don't want to talk.
Dead Man, no tell no
It's
tales.
not Dead Men Tell No Tales. Dead Men do in fact tell tales. I don't want to talk too much on this. I just want to talk about the cast. I want to talk about
This
the quality.
is a very spoiler, like scary type of movie that we don't want to touch.
It's that sort of line you don't want to walk. It's very heavy in.
You've got to really watch where we've got to really watch where we step in terms of giving
talk.
things away. And stuff.
Benoit Blanc, back again. Daniel Craig.
Murder.
Accent. Perfect.
Terrible of mine, but
Perfect. I love just watching him in everything. And I've got to say, like, he was great in this again. It was super fun. He was as charismatic and hilarious as he always is. He, like we were joking about, he just has like one-liners that he says that you just go, what? But it is just, it's
he just
great.
dropped something about pink eye, and you're like,
Yeah.
what? But they do. They're perfect. They land, and the fact that they're kind of just thrown in there every now and then really gets you off guard, and I think makes them hit way harder.
Cinematography of this film was
So good.
gorgeous. Just some real. The film being set in a church and being about a religious figure, they did some really interesting stuff with the church lighting, particularly during scenes of faith and doubt. There was a lot of like really darkening the room and then lighting the room sort of behind a cloud, the sun ducking behind a cloud, and then making the whole church sort of shrink and darken and then lighting it up again. There was a lot of that sort of stuff that just really, really popped.
There was that early on scene, which is not any spoiler territory,
Just of them talking.
where
initially.
Benoit Blanc meets our our priest, who is, I guess, our main character.
Yeah.
And yeah, he is sort of bathed in this like beautiful sunlight glow, and he starts chatting to him about faith, and then Benoit Blanc takes over and says like,
He doesn't.
talks about his like, I guess, view on faith, and it
Yeah.
just like
Yeah, all of the
closes
color,
down.
all of the color comes out of the room. It just pulls it out, and you know
Yeah.
it's so subtle. It's just that nice. Oh, the sun's gone behind a cloud, and it's not until like later on the priest is then trying to, saying how he feels
Yeah.
great about, even though we sort of are opposing. I feel great that I'm able to sort of talk to you about this and deliver with honesty and all of that sort of thing. And the light comes out from behind his head. It's just gorgeous.
It's beautifully shot.
It's well done. The sets are simple. It's a lot of it is set in this
I
church.
was gonna say, yeah, that and a couple of houses.
Mm.
It feels like a Knives Out mystery,
Yeah.
which is, we've got a beautiful old house that we're going to meet in sometimes around the fire.
Yep.
With just gorgeous production design.
Yep.
Beautiful sort of old aesthetic of these sort of like lived-in places, and
Yeah.
the church is beautiful.
Yeah.
The way that
and
light
it's also
streams
not
in.
big, which is cool. It's
Yeah,
not like this
it's not-
massive thing. It's like a country church.
Yeah, one of the particular parts that I loved at the very start, we don't see it much further into the film, but he has our main protagonist's bedroom, walks in, and it's got this like stained glass window
Yep.
that has, I think it's like red and blue, or
It's
blue and
a
red.
it's a singular circle, and then around it there are 2 red panes and 2 blue panes, and,
And
it's
the
split
light
right down the middle.
comes straight through.
Yep.
And it comes through the clear panel, and you get this like gorgeous beam of light with these hints of red and blue on the top and bottom of it. And then there's some just amazing plays on light with that later on, where you see it creeping into frame of the red and the blue and things like that.
Yeah.
There's so much in this film in terms of cinematography that is downright masterclass.
Now, I entirely
And
agree.
the whole series has been this.
Yeah.
The first Knives Out, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but there's the whole thing of like the knives pointing on the chair
Yeah.
and things like that. Steve Yedlin is the cinematographer who's done all 3. And I remember in the first one, he used these lighting rigs where it would have essentially a window pane, window cross section,
Yep.
kind of thing, on the lights to give everyone these beautiful eye lights that looked
okay.
like a window when there was no window in the
Yeah,
set. Like,
okay, interesting.
things like that, and he does such a great job. It looks like it's shot on film. It's not. I can guarantee you it's not, because
Yeah.
then they did
okay.
when they did Knives Out, everything bar one scene was shot on digital. And I remember listening to interviews with Ryan Johnson and Steve Yedlin, and they were like, pick out to me which scene is shot on film. No one could do it. I don't think I've heard
Amazing.
anyone go, that's the shot, that's the scene.
Yeah, right.
So the look they have for these films, I love it. It
Agreed.
feels so rich, from production design to cinematography to everything.
And one
blocking
thing
and
that they've
everything.
done really well, Netflix buys a franchise like this. They spent $400 million just to buy the franchise, and then announced they were doing 2 sequels, so Glass Onion and Wake Up Dead Man. It would be very easy for it to feel like a streaming film.
Yes, yeah, and they have avoided that
And
very well.
I feel like you've got talent like Ryan Johnson and Steve Yedlin involved, and every one of them looks unique and the same at the
Yes.
same time.
Yeah.
It's great in that sense. So, yeah, I think they've done a fantastic job of keeping it sort of feeling real, feeling big, feeling well, being pulled back.
It still feels like Ryan Johnson's
Yeah.
baby. Like
Yeah.
they're cradling it through life. Like
Yeah.
from first Knives Out, Glass Onion, Wake Up Dead Man. Just when they have that meme of the like horse drawn and
Yep,
it gets
and it's
like
the fire
progressively
horse.
worse or something like that. This is just all fire horse.
Yep. Now, when they did announce, they said they were funding 2 more films. So in my head, it's always been, we're at least getting Glass Onion and we're getting Wake Up Dead Man, and fantastic. But now I've seen them, and I want more.
Oh, give me them till I die.
I think that was what Daniel Craig said. I want to keep making Benoit Blanc films until I die, which I hope he does.
And I think
Keep making Benoit Blanc films, not die.
Yes, yeah.
But
yeah.
I'd like to see more of this, and I feel like it's been a win for Netflix. I know Glass Onion was one of the first in-cinema experiments. It made $13 million in the week that it was in cinemas. I feel like this one's going to outdo that, but it's going to be in for longer than a week. So I'm looking forward to, me being a big box office nerd. I really like looking at the numbers each week. So I'm looking forward to seeing what it pulls in. But if it does more than $13 million in a week in cinemas, we are in an upward trend. Now, it does have stronger competition. Wicked is out, Avatar's on the way, and this is smack bang in the middle where, people can only see so many movies a year.
Yes, yeah.
But, this is where we're at. So,
And it's not one of those ones where, you have to see it on the big screen, but it is one of those ones that's going to... You and I are always saying, yes, see it on the big screen. And I would still say no different with this one. Perfect big screen experience. But it just, everything hits harder, everything...
Yeah.
You just get
As you said,
encapsulated into that story.
Scale is one thing. I think something like this, the benefit of the big screen isn't necessarily even the big screen.
Because you're not getting big explosions and things like that.
It's the feeling all-encompassing that you don't really have at home. And it's the social convention that when we're at the movies, we're paying attention, we're putting our phones away, we're doing that. This is a film that you can't watch while scrolling on your phone.
No,
you will do it on
be
the
lost.
couch. But there's so much going on. There's many twists and turns. There's clues. There's hints. There's things the entire way through the film, and you want to be able to work that out, but you can't if you are watching on your phone. So that's I think that's the biggest factor that I would say.
And I think it would be great with a group of friends or something like that, coming to the cinema and watching that, because you're having that collective experience of did you figure that out? What did you think was happening? Because there is so many of those twists and turns that you're just going, I said to you at one point, I said, what the fuck is going on?
What is happening? Yeah.
Because where are we going with this? And not to say that it's confusing or anything like that. I was just we've just gotten more added to the story that I didn't.
And I think these films do a really good job of painting a fairly broad picture to begin with, and then tightening in the details. And, in reality, you probably could work it out, but those stories are always the best when you are trying to work it out and you've been given all the pieces and you're paying attention and going, I reckon it's that. I reckon that's the
And there's always going to be those people.
And then they give you that, and then they go, but wait, there's more. And you're like, hold on a moment.
Yeah, because you're always going to have that one friend that's oh, I knew it was them. I picked them from the start. I'm good guess.
Yep.
You had nothing to base it on. Yep. Just because you chose that person at the start.
It's the person I most medium suspect.
Yeah.
And that's why.
But if anyone's actually figuring these out from the clues, I'd be quite impressed still.
Well, I was once listening to, actually, of all people, I was listening to Brandon Sanderson. Do you know who this is?
I don't believe I do.
Brandon Sanderson is an author who is very, very well known. He writes fantasy novels. He ended up taking on the Wheel of Time series when the author passed away and they wanted to fill out the rest. He wrote the last 3 books or something like that. So he's very big. But he does these uni lectures that he does at his old uni where he went. He goes in and does lectures about story writing and all of this sort of thing. And then he posts them online so anybody can listen, which is fantastic. Listening through these, he was talking once, somebody asked him a question about, subverting the story or solving the mystery and that sort of thing and setting all of that up. And he was saying, there's a fine line to walk, but you need to do it in a way where people can work it out. Those of us who you want them to be able to guess, you want them to be able to put the pieces together themselves. If they can't, then it's not satisfying.
You
because
just
you get to the end
hand through the whole thing.
Well, you get to the end, and then it's like, oh, okay, but basically, he talked about this study they'd done, whereas if people could solve it, even if it was the page before it was revealed, they were more satisfied by solving it themselves and then getting to it than realizing it when it was revealed to them.
Yes.
Because they couldn't put the pieces together themselves. So there's something to be said about
There's that like
giving
gratification
enough,
of like, I was right.
exactly, giving enough that you can solve it. And I think that these films do a really good job of that, because you can sort of go, you know, there was a moment in this where it looked like when they revealed who it was and this person was telling what they'd done, even a couple of moments in them where I was like, they did this, and they did this, and then that was revealed.
Yeah.
And like, that's satisfying.
Yeah, no, there was one of the things, like, I really want to watch Glass Onion again. I've seen it just the one time when it came out, and I loved it. I'm really keen to watch it again because I can't quite remember what the twists and turns were.
Yeah,
so I'm
cool.
like, oh, cool, I get to rewatch this movie again. I remember Knives Out quite well because I've watched it a few times.
Yeah.
But they're just great movies.
Absolutely.
And like you said before, Daniel Craig, I mean, there's such a stark difference in like what you were saying about he wants to make these till he dies. And then I'm pretty sure he was quoted once before saying, if I have to make another James Bond movie, I'm going to go.
They're totally different, though. I mean, the action involved in...
Yes.
And I don't think that he particularly liked the James Bond character or the misogyny of the James Bond character, and that is inherently built into...
And I think the fact
is.
that he had to get like ripped every time they did it.
Yeah,
so
that
had
probably...
to go on diets
and all of that sort of thing. So that's fair. And he did 2 movies after he made that quote. And finished the story out, and still to this day is my favorite Bond. So
exactly, same.
But Benoit Blanc is a character that I don't think requires a lot of him.
No, and you can tell he's having fun.
Yes.
We say this a lot about people, like when you see them and you can see the actors having fun and really getting into the character and playing with it, it just makes a better movie. And every single one of these movies he has done that in. He looks like he's having the time of his life.
Absolutely.
And I like I said, give me more. I will take 100 of these movies.
I entirely agree. Hopefully Netflix sees the success of this and announces more. And that's Wake Up.
From memory, I think this one's only like 40 million or something like that. Like they're still keeping a relatively small budget. So I'm like,
why would you not? And you've got big casts and people want to be involved in them. You know, every time you've got a good cast of people, they're not required for necessarily a lot. I feel like they're not long productions either. Like they don't feel like 3-month productions. They feel like a month productions.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, no. They seem to have it pretty well down to a fine art of getting it made and getting it done well with a great team. Yeah.
So there you go. That is Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. We didn't want to go too into detail about it because we want you to see it for yourself. We want you to experience everything we did, which was a lot of roller coasters with loop-de-loops and spirals and twists and turns and all of that. There's a lot going on. There is a lot going on.
There's a lot of laughs in there too.
It is,
which there has been in the other ones as well. But there's a lot of really good sort of laugh out loud moments. I think they played on
pretty well
different archetypes of characters and things like that. So really fun.
Very good. Check it out. We want to hear what you think, so make sure that you're commenting and letting us know if you do get a chance to see it. I don't care if you're coming back to this 3 weeks, 4 weeks later and you've just watched it on Netflix. Obviously, we are advocates for seeing it on the big screen. If you saw it on Netflix, all I'm going to say is please tell me you put your phone away, put your phone in the other room, paid attention, enjoyed the movie.
Did you figure it out? Tell us.
Did you figure it out?
There'll be a comment that's like, you guys are idiots. We solved this in the first 10 minutes.
10 minutes, I knew what was going on. This person was the killer. Sam, I haven't done my Letterboxd review yet. We've just seen the film. What are your thoughts? Where are you sitting?
It's sitting around like, I'm thinking maybe 4.5. Somewhere around there. It's pretty high up for me. This is going into my top 10 pool of movies that'll be on the list.
I agree entirely.
It's not one of those ground-breaking movies. Like I think One Battle After Another was one of those movies that came out and really like we were like, holy crap, this is cinema.
The issue with Wake Up Dead Man isn't that it wasn't groundbreaking or isn't that it wasn't great. It's that we've had 2 other films
It's a
that we
franchise
enjoyed.
now,
So we
yeah.
knew, we expected it to do well, and I think when your expectation is high and it delivers, that's great. But it's hard to
It's one of those things where it's
your
like, if it's
expectation.
good, it goes unnoticed because it's just like, yeah, this
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
But definitely worth
Amazing.
checking out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very similar for me as well. So yeah,
Wonderful.
Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery in cinemas now. Check it out while you can. Now,
yes.
Eternity is coming out next week, and this is one that I'm excited about. This is Miles Teller, the other guy, and it's
wait.
Callum Turner. Is it that we worked out? Callum Turner?
Maybe
And
he wasn't in this
Elizabeth
though,
Olsen.
was he? In Waking Up Dead?
No, no.
Similar looking guys though.
Who
Or
are you
have they
talking
been
about?
in the
Josh O'Connor
That was who was in.
in Wake Up Dead Man.
Yes. I
Yep.
feel like I
And
get him
Challenges. Yeah, I
Yes,
can see
yeah.
it. They've got like dark hair.
I feel like I get them
similar-shaped
mixed
heads.
up because I've seen Callum
So
Turner
it's
in films.
not Josh O'Connor in a second film. It is Callum Turner, and we're going to watch the trailer for it now.
Yeah.
We just watched the trailer for Eternity, and I totally get what you're saying about Callum Turner. He does look very much like Josh O'Connor. Very, very similar.
Yeah. I always get them mixed up. I think especially also because they kind of both rose up around that same
At
time.
that same time.
Yeah.
Eternity trailer looks fantastic. Essentially, the concept is Miles Teller, he dies in his old age, wakes up in the Junction, which is a place where he needs to pick
Eternity.
pick his eternity, sees his wife of 50 years there, tells her they're dead. All right, you've got a week here, and then you've got to pick a world to move to and who you want to move there with. And that's when she runs into her husband who had died in the war, the first husband who had died presumably when they were...
67 years ago or something like
yeah,
that?
67 years ago. So maybe it was 60, yeah.
So that, yeah.
He does, yeah. So
She'd been waiting, because she says, you've been waiting 67 years for me.
there you go. And then she obviously got remarried 17 years after that. So presumably late 30s, early 40s. And then they'd been together since then.
Yeah, I think they said 50
Late
years,
80s
yeah.
and 50 years. So yeah, it's a bit of a love triangle between the first husband who had died 67 years ago and been waiting for her in this
Yeah.
eternity, and the husband of 50 years. And it looks fun, and
It's a really interesting premise, I think, that's
Yeah.
it's gonna be a tough choice.
it's yeah, exactly. Will be a tough choice.
Yeah.
It looks surprisingly fun for a story about death.
It does, yeah.
It looks funny and heartfelt and warm, and this was a Toronto Film Festival film.
Yeah.
Which is always cool to see these sort of A24 films doing well around the circuits. And I'm very excited for this one. So this is
Yeah, I'm super on board with it. I think, like we said, it looks really interesting. I love the little plays on the afterlife that we're getting, which
Yeah.
is cool. It's just sort of a different take, which A24's been great at doing. They take
Absolutely.
these sort of base level ideas and then really go, hey, what if it was like this? And yeah.
One thing that is really cool is that the distributor actually sent us a bunch of pamphlets for all the different worlds. So next week when we're talking about it, we'll flick through, we'll have a look at
Very cool.
what worlds are available to us. I think Man-Free World was there, Mall World, Satanic World,
Yeah, right.
or Satanism World. Beach World was there, Mall World. Yeah, we had a
Interesting.
big stack of pamphlets to flick through.
I wonder how many of the relationships in eternity then get broken up because one wants to go to Beach World and one wants to go to another one.
Man-free world. Yeah, absolutely. So that'll be very interesting to see. But regardless, Eternity is out next week. We have an advanced screening on Wednesday the 3rd in Gold Class. Get your tickets now. It looks super fun. And then, the film starts next Thursday. So
Very good.
be ready for that.
Yeah.
Just occurred to me, I suppose we can put this into the episode anyway, so we'll do a little ending. And then
I can, well, yeah.
we'll do an ending here and then call it there.
Yeah, cool.
That was our episode on Wake Up Dead Man. Next week we are watching Eternity. It looks fantastic. And that's all I've got to say.
Yeah, that sounds about it.
That sounds about it. Well, remember, while you're at the movies, there are no bad seats. Please enjoy, and we will see you next week.